Hello guys and welcome to SteveKnows. We have got so many great virtual reality news stories, some of them I just could not believe my ears, so I cannot wait to share them with you. And if you want a chance to win a virtual reality headset and even more things, there is a giveaway for you to enter down below in the description. Subscribe to the channel and give it a go. So let's get started on the virtual reality news. Let's talk about the 3D Rudder Quest support. This is a lazy man who loves virtual reality's best friend, and maybe one of the most frustrating Oculus Quest accessories yet. I am kind of annoyed, but would I have bought it anyway? So anyway, let me give you some context. A while back, the 3D Rudder got Oculus Quest support once it was connected to the PC via the Oculus Link. This rudder acted as an accessory that would enable you to traverse and rotate without having to use the thumbsticks. This is a great option for games that wanted to implement hand tracking, as you no longer have those buttons available in order for you to have the input to move. The accessory looks like a gym balance board that picks up rotations to turn and your movement when you add pressure to a certain side of it. It was originally created for the PlayStation VR platform as a solution for Sony, as the Move controllers didn't have any analog sticks, so you'd have to teleport everywhere, or implement some weird way in order for you to travel. So the company have just announced that they are releasing a wireless version of this 3D rudder that works natively with the Oculus Quest via a Bluetooth connection. So you could use your Oculus Quest and this accessory if you wanted to wirelessly. But of course it was too good to be true, it sounded too brilliant. As I dug further and further, I found out that this was only available for enterprise purchase. So me and you, we couldn't go to the shops and purchase this wireless option. We only have the wired one that has to be connected to a computer in order to work. I see this as a marketing strategy because I know enterprises are adopting VR slowly and they just don't have the knowledge of what's out there. So that you have this wireless option that makes people more comfortable in traversal where they don't need remotes, they can just use hand tracking with the Quest, let's say. It's a more appealing option. I'm just annoyed that I can't have it for myself. That's a much better option. I much prefer wireless than a wired connection. This releases on 30th of March for $200, or you can get the wired version for $140. Let's talk about Half-Life Alyx now, because this game isn't even out yet, and people are already tearing apart interviews with guys at Valve to get any scrap of information that they can use or share about this video game. So Half-Life Alyx is going to be the first Half-Life release in 13 years, and this title has such a following behind it, so this is a big deal for Valve. We weren't even expecting this series to continue, but now it's less than a few weeks away before we're gonna get to play it in virtual reality, and it looks so good. If you're someone that's interested in this title, I did go through the recent gameplay that was released by IGN and Valve and pick out all the tips and tricks and what to expect in the game. So Robin Walker was being interviewed by Game Informer and said something pretty interesting, and the statement was this: Half-Life means a lot to us, and it's been incredibly rewarding to familiarize ourselves with its characters, the setting, and the mechanics. There are Half-Life team members who have been in the team since Half-Life 2, and there are even members that have been here since the original Half-Life, and there are members that this is the first Half-Life title they have worked on, so there seems to be a nice mixed bag, which is probably good for development purposes, so people don't get carried away with an idea. Anyway, many of them certainly hope it's not their last, and we absolutely see Half-Life Alyx as our return to this world, not the end of it. What? That sounds like they are working on continuing this franchise. They said absolutely, no shadow of a doubt that this is going to be the last title. It's not going to be. We're going to get even more Half-Life games, which makes sense because they've been beefing up this Source 2 engine for this game and investing heavily into virtual reality. So much so that perhaps this game is going to provide advancements in how virtual reality story-driven titles are created. I would hope that they wouldn't stop after just one title. We've seen it happen before. I wonder how long the cycle is going to be as well. I hope they're already working on the next Half-Life game. Don't pull a GTA where we wait nearly a decade for the next game. And I wonder if it's going to continue as a virtual reality title, because they can make it Pancake and release the game to everybody, or they can have Pancake and virtual reality support as well. That's probably the best option. Or they could just be pushing virtual reality because they have a premium VR headset, the Valve Index, that they're gonna want to push. So let's keep our ears to the ground because that's a pretty interesting prospect. Next, an Oculus Quest game called Space Channel 5. I'm shocked to see this title only now because I saw this in a magazine in December 2018, and some classic gaming veterans here may remember this from the Sega Dreamcast with good old Sonic Adventures and House of the Dead. Oh, and Crazy Taxi. It's a bit like Papa the Rapper on PlayStation 1. It's a rhythm-based title, but not like Beat Saber or Synth Riders. In this one, you have to remember the moves that are shown to you and repeat them back. This game has been given a new lease of life in virtual reality, but keeping that over-the-top style of gameplay. In Upload VR, the footage that they show you repeating the moves that get translated into a battleground, where each right move shoots an asteroid. You then have to avoid oncoming enemy fire with a dance-off at the end with your partner. This isn't a remaster of the original game, but it still has the same characteristics, the things that we loved about the first one. It looks really cool. It has that silly, humorous, over-the-top anime style it's brilliant. And it's nice to have a dance game where it isn't me just skanking a Dutty Wine to all those nutty dubstep EDM tracks. I want to talk about Crysis VRigade now, a pretty interesting bit. So recently, I had spoken about this game being rejected from the Oculus Store for a second time. The Oculus Store denied it again, and it just frustrated me so much because it's on PC VR, it's on PlayStation VR, it's a well-made, great title. It's one of the highest downloaded games on SideQuest, and if you haven't played it, go download it. Honestly, you'll love it. But something just popped up that the developer Diego Martin was recently tagged in, and it was on Twitter, and it said this: "Welcome to Oculus Start. We're excited to work with you." Oculus Start is a platform where Oculus can help developers with networking, creating VR applications in a way that Oculus recommends, so it will help to advise on best practice, provide resources and tooling. This program started in 2018, and it seems to be very helpful with indie devs or small companies. A bit of the introductory blog for this program said this: "We know that there is no shortage of inspired ideas and creative minds, breaking grounds in virtual reality. Creativity isn't a barrier, and resources shouldn't be either. If your first app is underway, we can help you optimize for more success in this project and your next. No fees, no catches." So here's hoping Oculus can assist them in getting this game onto the Oculus Store so we can get additional content and the cooperative mode for Crysis VR that I really, really want. And also, Diego, great job to you, my friend, for just swallowing your pride and accepting that you're not going onto the Oculus Store. You're going to join them and do whatever you can to get it on there by any means. So, well done, my friend. Thank you. Right now this one. So Chris Pruitt posted some pretty crazy stuff, some nutty news on Twitter, and I'm not sure what it's going to lead to, but it's definitely going to stir the pot. That's for sure, and that is, it seems Facebook are focusing some efforts on the applications that haven't been able to make it onto the official Quest store due to their stringent policies. They first tweeted out that they recommend the Oculus Start program that I just mentioned for guys that weren't able to get onto the store to help them kickstart and help give them resources to create a game that can pass their approval process. But it was taken a step further with the next tweet that came out, which said this: "We also understand that many devs and enthusiasts are looking for easier ways to access and distribute applications outside of the Oculus Store. This is an area that we're actively thinking about. More to share soon." So Facebook are wanting to find ways to help people distribute their applications that haven't been accepted onto the Oculus Quest store. So I guess they've realized that SideQuest is a fantastic resource that the community loves. It provides us with new virtual reality ideas, what's possible on the Quest, beta releases, great content as well, like To the Top, Crysis, Pavlov as well. And I guess enough is enough. They know that SideQuest are making money and the community are going there instead of their store. Facebook want to have control over that kind of resource, that kind of platform. So I hope they're going to do something that partners with SideQuest. I'd hate to see all that hard work that's gone into SideQuest and the investment from the community for it to just be gone and taken away. It makes sense to leverage an already built, a very large platform instead of Facebook going to create their own. And it would only be for a short period of time, I'm guessing, because Facebook will be rolling out their new operating system, which would render SideQuest kind of obsolete temporarily as all the content on there would no longer be viable. I think what they should do, perhaps to make SideQuest more accessible, is to put an application for it on the Quest headset, because not everyone can plug in the headset to a computer and know how to sideload, even though it is simple. Some people just aren't very tech savvy. So having this app would enable them to go in there and install the application straight from within the headset. It also enables Facebook to curate everything that's being downloaded. And then all they'd have to do is provide a disclaimer about the content that people will be downloading. But then, where's the incentive for developers to really push and reach that quality first policy? So perhaps they're not going to allow paid for games on that platform, because otherwise there's no incentive. Please let me know your thoughts down below, because I think this is a pretty interesting topic up for discussion. Now let's talk about Star Wars virtual reality. We know of the success of Vader Immortal from the labs. It was a great virtual reality experience in the Star Wars universe, but it was short-lived, being only around 30 minutes per episode. I wanted more. But we could be getting a fully fledged Star Wars virtual reality game that I originally wanted. Recently, there was a High Republic announcement trailer where people were discussing a new direction for the franchise, where they wanted a new story, showing off nostalgic memories of the franchise, artwork, concepts. It was all about the design and the approach that they were taking, the new direction of Star Wars. And there's a rumor going around that's tied into a video game based in this era as well, which I wouldn't be completely surprised with, because they've had prior success to this with their games. It was a huge success. The setting of this is 200 years before Phantom Menace, when we saw young Vader racing his pods. This is during the peak of the Jedi Order and the Galactic Republic rule. And looking at some comments, fans have mixed opinions on this. Some people were excited, some people were not. But apparently there is supposed to be a new video game, a virtual reality video game, tie-in to this new era, to this new storyline. And I'm hoping we're going to get to fly X-Wings. I want that freedom in the Star Wars universe that Vader Immortal didn't provide before. It was very linear. So fingers crossed we're going to get the VR game that we want, and I can't wait to hear something about it. Hopefully this rumor is true. So that's it from me today, guys. Thanks to my patrons, Jason, Shynee, Boggit, and Pug. You guys are legends. So guys, join the giveaway. Stick around for next time. Happy gaming. Good day.